The Prime Minister gave the strongest hint yet that MPs could get the chance to vote on having a second EU referendum. Theresa May has consistently said that she opposes another vote but acknowledged that it could be taken out of her hands. She suggested there was a strong possibility that MPs will table a motion when she brings the deal back to the Commons. The SNP leader Ian Blackford asked Mrs May if a second referendum has been offered as part of the government's negotiations with the Labour Party which are ongoing. The Prime Minister said, "My position on a second referendum, the government's position has not changed. The House has rejected a second referendum 2 times. When we come to a deal we will have to make sure that legislation goes through this House." Theresa May repeated her opposition to a second vote. Image, AFP/Getty Images. Of course it may be that there are those in this House who wish to press that issue as the legislation goes through. But my position on this has not changed. Number 10 played down the significance of the Prime Minister's comments saying, "It is a statement of absolute fact." As part of a series of indicative votes held on 27 April, the confirmatory vote option gained the most votes, 268, but it was defeated as 295 MPs opposed it. In that vote 198 Labour MPs supported it but 27 voted against, the exact margin it lost by. On 1 April MPs voted on the second round of indicative votes and had their say again on a second poll as part of a motion tabled by Peter Kyle which gained 280 votes but was voted down by 292. The SNP back a second referendum. Earlier today the Brexit Secretary introduced the idea that such indicative votes could be binding if talks with Labour fail. Speaking to the Today programme on Radio 4, Mr Barclay said, "We would have to agree through the usual channels how we made the votes more binding as the votes to date on the various options have been indicative." Regarding government talks with Labour on trying to end the Brexit deadlock, Mr Barclay said, "If they fail, the Prime Minister has said that we will come back to Parliament and look at how we then get clarity on a vote. One of the challenges there will be is how we have a stable majority to pass the legislation that would follow that vote. But, we would come back to Parliament and seek to get a consensus on the various options." Stephen Barclay said indicative votes could be binding. Image, AFP/Getty Images. David Gauke paved the way for the PM's comments today when he said on Tuesday it was inevitable that MPs would table an amendment. "The issue is far from straightforward for Labour with deep divisions on whether or not there should be a second vote." A spokesman for the Labour leader told journalists, "The issue of a possible confirmatory ballot has been discussed at every session, but the overwhelming focus is on the substantive issues, the customs issue, single market, rights, standards and guarantees in relation to workers' rights." The spokesman said the process for a referendum has been discussed. Asked if that included discussing an amendment that could be put down by MPs, he said, "Every aspect of the situation has been discussed." Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell said on Tuesday, "What we are trying to do is make sure we arrive at a deal which first of all protects jobs and the economy. We don't think Theresa May's deal does that, and we're also discussing the issue it seems apparently she's raised in cabinet as well, about the issue about going